Hey there, Becca here from Inside the Square, and welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how you can add an inset border to an image in your Squarespace website. We're going to add this border to an on-page image, like a poster image or a collage image, and I'll also show you how to do this for an entire page section in version 7.1. Now, all the codes I'm about to share are listed in the description below, but as I'm sure you can imagine, we've got quite a few things to adjust about this to make it look perfect for your own site design. So let's go ahead and hop into my demo site and I'll show you how this works. So here we are in my demo site, and I want to be clear before we get started, the image block codes that we're about to use, those will work on any version of Squarespace, but when we talk about a section background, that's specific for 7.1. So let's go ahead and start with image blocks. I have a poster image here, and all images actually have an image overlay. That's color that you can place on top of the image. To change up that color, you need to hop into design mode and select Site Styles. And from here, you can navigate to colors. And if you're in 7.1, hop into your color theme. If you're in version 7, you'll just see this on the left-hand side of your screen instead. But here, when I click on the poster image, you'll see this narrows it down and I have image overlay. That is actually what we're going to use to create this border. Right now, it covers the whole image, so we're going to adjust the width and the height to pull that in and give it a border. Now, I've also changed this to transparent using code. You can also do that using the design menu. I have the actual color selected here, but I can drag this all the way to the left if I want this to happen for all images. Now, I'm going to assume you only want this to happen for 1 or 2 images, so we'll just leave that where it was so you can see how the code actually changes that background color for the image overlay. Okay, let's hop out of here and get started with the code you came to this tutorial to see. I'll go and select Save, and we're going to navigate from that same Design tab all the way down to Custom CSS. This is where we're going to paste the code, this code that's listed in the description below. I'm just going to copy this code right here out of my keyboard and press Ctrl V. There we go. And now you'll see we have the border that is actually an inset border for the entire image. Again, we took the background color and made it transparent. You can do this in the Site Styles menu if you want this to apply to all images of that type. If I remove that part of the code, it actually shows up as the full color. That's because we had to make the opacity 1 so that the border would be completely visible as well. If I remove that opacity code, you'll see the border is actually slightly transparent, just like the overlay image color was. So what we've done is we've said take that background color and make it transparent, give it a border, and make sure we can see the border at 100% here so it's not transparent at all. Again, if we remove that, it's going to be difficult to see the full color of the border. So I'll leave opacity at 1. Then after that, I adjusted the width and the height. That's what brings this border in from the sides of the image and actually makes it inset. You don't have to be that dramatic as 80%. You can make it 90% if you want to, or use a specific value. Like, let's say we want this to be 200 px in width. That's what that's going to look like. That even pulls it in behind the text of this poster image. So you've got lots of options for those values. I recommend using percentage, but you can use any length value you want. And last but not least, I've said margin auto, and that's going to center it. If we remove that line of code, you'll see it'll stick the border on the top left-hand corner and then have it adjust from there to 90% of the width and the height. If I add margin auto, that's going to center that border in the image. So we have this image overlay applied to the poster image, but that will actually apply it to literally every on-page image block. I have a few more examples down here and down here. Let's say that's not what we want. You actually want to isolate this by an image type. We can do that using the image name. In front of image overlay, I'm going to say design, layout, poster, and now just the poster images are going to get this effect. I can also say design, layout, collage. Now just the collage image will get this inset border. Same thing with design, layout, stack. You get the idea. If you want to isolate it by an image type, use that code name or selector for the image type before the text image overlay. Now let's say you just want this for one specific image. If we scroll down here, I have 3 poster images next to each other. I'm going to click on this free Chrome extension that I use to grab the block ID for this middle poster image. I'll link to this Chrome extension in the description below. Not affiliated with them, just a fan. So I'm going to click on that right there. Let's turn off the extension. and I'll place that code again in front of image overlay. And now just that specific image is going to get this inset border. No other images on the page are affected. So one last time to recap, you can apply it to all images if you just start with the selector image overlay. That'll be all on-page images. You can isolate by specific type by saying design layout. Let's use poster for an example here. And I'll spell design correctly. There we go. You can isolate specific by type or pull the block ID. I use this Chrome extension to quickly grab that data, pull the block ID and place that before image overlay, and you can do this to just one single image on your website. Now, for those of you using 7.1, we can do this for a background image for an entire section as well by isolating the content wrapper, not the image overlay. I'm going to remove the code we've added there, and I'll grab this code right here and paste it into my CSS. Now we need to isolate this by data section, so this content wrapper change only happens to this one section. I'll click on that Chrome extension again, grab the data section ID and paste that in the beginning of my code. Let's turn off the extension, and there we go. We now have a solid red border around the content wrapper, creating that inset border for this section background. I changed the width to 80%. If we remove that, it'll stretch it all the way to the edges, and I wanted to pull it in a little bit. And then I added padding of 2 rem. If we remove that, we'll be left with the standard padding for that content wrapper, which pulls the border all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom. I added a padding of 2 rem around the whole thing to pull it in from those edges. Just like we did in the last one, you can use a percentage if you want to, or VW or VH, whatever length value you're comfortable with, even 200px if that's what you want. Not the effect I'm going for. Let's try 20. There we go. Totally change this padding value to whatever you see fit. Now, whatever you decide to do, just select save when you're done and you'll be good to go. All those codes that we just used are listed in the description below, but be super duper careful about editing that width and that height so it looks perfect for your own website design. And if you're using that content wrapper, pay close attention to that padding so everything lines up exactly the way you want it to. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something awesome. If you enjoyed it, give me a like and a comment below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel because I post a brand new tutorial every single week. Thanks again for watching, and most importantly, have fun with your Squarespace website. Bye for now. If you liked this tutorial, you're gonna love my Squarespace CSS cheat sheet. I put all of my custom codes and pro tips inside one gigantic PDF available now at insidethesquare.co/CSS. That's insidethesquare.co/CSS.